what is happening with Emefiele, Mr. Bawa, the suspended EFCC chairman, and those who have raised questions as to how the Bola Tinubu government had handled some of these legal matters. As a senior lawyer in the country, your very good friend, Mr. Fagbemi, is the Attorney General of the Federation. What are your views as to the role of the DSS, the continued detention of Mr. Bawa, the EFCC chairman, some of the allegations or the charges against Mr. Emefiele, and some of the scenario of how they handle the state of affairs when they were in office?
Well, I have advised the government publicly that no citizen should be detained without trial. And if you have no evidence against any citizen in detention, you must release him or her. I've made that statement with respect to Mr. Emefiele and Bawa, but left for majority of Nigerians, we should just leave them on the ground that when they were in power, when they had the opportunity to comply with court orders, they treated them with contempt. I'm sure you could recall the currency notes, the design of the currency note, whereby on February 8th last year, the Supreme Court gave a judgment, which the central bank not only disregarded, but came out to say, we ain't going to comply with the judgment of the Supreme Court. No institution since 1914 has been so bold and irresponsible to say we are not going to obey the judgment of the Supreme Court. That happened, but notwithstanding such acts of executive lawlessness, the state must operate at a higher pedestal by ensuring that court orders are obeyed, that the rule of law, the government operates under the rule of law, because the government rules by law. And so the Attorney General, the new Attorney General, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, said, unlike the previous Attorney General, immediate past Attorney General, Mr. Malami Abubakar, who said publicly, we're not going to obey all court orders in the interest of national security. But Mr. Fagbemi has said, we are going to ensure that the government, this government, operates under the rule of law. So we had a meeting with the National Human Rights Commission, and we have agreed that all judgments of courts that are not being obeyed be compiled so that they can be sent to the office of the Attorney General with a view to ensuring compliance with them. And that is how to run a government that is anchored under the rule of law.
All right, Mr. Falana, let's anchor on this point. The Nigerian Labour Congress says is going on a 2-day warning strike. The DSS had also come out to say there are plans for disruption of the peace in the country. There was a statement from the DSS in that respect. And are those who will say, you heard what the spokesperson of the president has said in respect of the manner in which NLC had conducted itself. Now, the president is going off to India. This issue of the subsidy is really causing a lot of political governance issue. How do you think the Bola Tinubu government should handle this? The pain and the plight of Nigerians are there, which is germane in all of these issues.
You see, unfortunately, we're at this stage again. For the past 2 months, the government and Labour, 2 months ago, the government and Labour embraced dialogue. Unfortunately, except where there is a threat to strike, the body set up by the government has never really come up with any solutions, or rather, for instance, the government had agreed to increase the national minimum wage because of the crisis caused by removal of fuel subsidy. And the government has also agreed to address many areas up to today. And I'm not talking of the federal government alone. The state governments are all involved in ensuring that these challenges in the country, facing workers and facing other citizens who are disadvantaged, are addressed. The government has announced palliatives of 5 billion naira per state in the majority of the states. Apart from that announcement, nothing has gone to the people. So people are complaining. And the labor movement has taken it upon itself, long before now, to defend the interests of Nigerian workers and the generality of our people. The challenge before the government is to continue the discussions, rather belated discussions, started today. And I expect the government to have a sleepless night to work out an arrangement, call governors, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, and call all the relevant stakeholders to have this matter addressed today, tonight. But threatening or saying that you are going to have a breach of the peace, I beg your pardon. What peace are you talking about? The peace of the graveyard for the majority of our oppressed people. It's the peace of the graveyard. So, and of course, the labor leaders are not going on protests on the street. There's no protests on the street this time around. So the question of saying, oh, some people are organizing protests, rallies to disrupt the peace of the country. It's not there. What is there? And the State Security Service must advise the government, address the problem that is leading to a strike. And that is the best way to handle this matter. And it can be done tonight.
Thank you so much indeed. Thank you so much, thank you for your time tonight. Thank you so much. Mr. Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria and human rights lawyer. Thank you so much indeed for your thoughts on these very critical issues.